Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to the Patriot Brief. Hey guys, welcome to today's show. Welcome to the Patriot Brief. Guys, in this episode, this bonus episode, I'm going to talk about just what's going on in the political angle, so to speak. I want to talk about this topic that kind of struck a nerve with me just earlier today, and I had to get this on the podcast today. I had to say this, and it's just, I don't know. I see that there's not a lot of people talking about this. I did see the article in the New York Times, though, but very little on other platforms. Of hawks are standing in the way of the new Republican Party. What do I mean by this? Well, let's get into it. Let's get right into this, and I'll basically tell you exactly what I mean by this. Even as conservatives are breaking with some Cold War orthodoxies on domestic policy, Republican politicians remain wedded to that era's violent foreign policy. What do I mean by this? Well, folks, we know that liberal imperialism in the United States, the aggressive push to impose progressive values, often joined to corporate power, are still spreading that same order to the ends of the earth. Yeah, we all hear that, folks. We constantly hear that. It's a vision for many members of the so-called new right who are pushing for political realignment of the Republican Party. Because we are seeing, folks, a realignment in both parties, whether it's the far right or the far left. We're seeing that political pretty much push. Possibly a new democracy in this country? Could it be? Or could it be perhaps a major stumbling block to American politics? What we need to do, folks, is we as conservatives must make a clear break with the neo-conservative foreign policy to emphasize widely shared development both here at home and cultural non-aggressive keys to our security here in the United States. Try saying that to the president that we have in office. You're not going to get far with this, folks, because we are seeing crisis after crisis after crisis, and is basically pushing that new realignment in American politics. We've seen it in 2020, and we're seeing it with these policy hawks, so to speak, of business libertarians, religious traditionalists, and the American neo-Nazi, so to speak, if I have to use those terms. Today's nationalist hawks often speak of an obligation, folks, to defend democratic allies first before representing its country. We see a president today more or less more concerned with foreign countries such as Russia and China than his own country itself. Basically, even the new right then The goal of securing America by making the world safe for democracy still refuses to die. Folks, since the earliest days of our nation, a division has existed between those who argue that America should be more republic and more of a capitalist nation than a globalist nation, and those who called instead for a crusader nation. These came to figure that America be best served liberty and self-government by perfecting domestic republicanism without going abroad in search of monsters to destroy this nation, as quoted as John Quincy Adams put it in the earliest days of our democracy and our young nation at that time. He also had stated that America should be more secure, and partly because they believe, and he believed, folks, that it was our destiny to baptize all nations in liberal ideas. By contrast, folks, liberal to insist on American duty to enlarge the liberal empire, whether through soft or hard power, a tradition exemplified by Woodrow Wilson and John F. Kennedy. But yet our values seem to diminish under this leadership of Joe Biden. Where is it going? Is the liberal window starting to open up in our own backyards, folks? Is it? Well, we're starting to see that every single day. Every single day. Turn on the news. It's there. You don't have to go far, right? Hey guys, next time you want to look for a professional contractor, whether you're trying to get new renovations in your house, look to Thumbtack. Thumbtack is a great app, guys. Available on Google Play or the App Store. Download Thumbtack and search thousands of professional insured contractors for your next big project, whether it's your home, your office, or your business. Download Thumbtack app and search for your next big project with thousands of contractors in your local area. All right, guys, what we're talking about today is basically, where America's going. This new liberal vision under this radical left machine that's just literally taken us on a freaking roller coaster, so to speak. Literally a roller coaster. Where are we going from here? Are we going to see more conservatism, or are we going to see more liberalism? Well, I can tell you right now, folks, if you're wishing for conservatism, you're not going to see it under this president. Or at least by 2024, hopefully, right? Because we are literally in what I call a totalitarian type of government. We are living under more government than less government, if you get my drift. And in closing here, because this is a Patriot brief here, I like to keep it short and simple to the point. What I mean by all my messaging that I had on today's podcast is we have to have less government and a government for and by the people, not a government that wants us to worship them. That's my drift. That's my angle. That's my message, guys. Take it easy. You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle Podcast, an Anchor platform.